Let's now talk about x to the 0th power. Now in this set of videos, I'm going to be using x to be talking about any number but 0. So let's talk about 5 to the 5th power. So that'll be 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. There are 5 5's being multiplied together, and that is 3,125. 5 to the 4th power has 4 5's being multiplied together, and that is 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, 625. 5 cubed is 5 times 5 times 5. We have 3 5's being multiplied together, and that is 125. 5 squared is 5 times 5. We have 2 5's being multiplied together, and that is 25. 5 to the first, we had 1 5, and that is 5. Now, how do we get from 3,125 to 625? We divide by 5. How do we get from 625 to 125? We divide by 5. How do we get from 125 to 25? We divide by 5. How do we get from 25 to 5? We divide by 5. So it would seem that we continue this pattern of divide by 5, and so 5 to the 0th power is equal to 1. Negative 6, and that to the 4th power. What is that? Well, that is equal to 4 negative 6's being multiplied together. And so that is negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. Now in a previous set of videos called Multiplying and Dividing Positive and Negative Numbers, I explained that if you multiply negative numbers and you have an even number of negative signs, that means that the answer is positive. So the answer is positive 1,296. Negative 6 cubed. And so that is negative 6 times negative 6 times negative 6. We have 3 negative 6's being multiplied together. We have an odd number of negative signs, and so that is negative 216. Negative 6 squared. So that is negative 6 times negative 6. We have 2 negative 6's being multiplied together, and we have an even number of negative signs, and so that is positive 36. Negative 6 to the first. Well, we just have one negative 6, and that is negative 6. Now, how do I get from 1,296 to negative 216? Well, I divide by negative 6. How do I get from negative 216 to 36? Well, I divide by negative 6. How do I get from 36 to negative 6? Well, I divide by negative 6. So, using the same pattern, I would think continue divide by negative 6. And so I would think that negative 6 to the 0th power would be 1, because negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1. Let's now talk about 100th to the 4th power. Well, that would be 100th times 100th times 100th times 100th, which is equal to 0.000000001. What about 100th cubed? Well, that would be 3 100's being multiplied together, and that would be 100th times 100th times 100th, which is equal to 0.0000001. What about 100th squared? Well, that would be 2 100's being multiplied together, and that would be 100th times 100th, which is equal to 0.0001. What about 100th to the 1st power? Well, we'll have 1 100th, and that is 100th. Now, how do we get from 0.000000001 to 0.0000001? How do we get from there to there? Well, we divide by 100th. How do we get from 0.0000001 to 0.0001? Well, we divide by 100th. How do we get from 0.0001 to 100th? Well, we divide by 100th. So we continue this pattern of divide by 100th, and we find that 100th to the 0th power is equal to 1. Let's now talk about any x in general. So in this set of videos, x is any real number but 0, so it could be either positive or negative. X to the 5th is x times x times x times x times x. We have 5 x's being multiplied together. X to the 4th is x times x times x times x. We have 4 x's being multiplied together. X cubed is x times x times x. We have 3 x's being multiplied together. X squared is x times x. We have 2 x's being multiplied together. X to the 1st is just 1x, so that's x. So how do we get from x to the 5th to x to the 4th? Well, we divide by x. How do we get from x to the 4th to x cubed? Well, we divide by x. How do we get from x cubed to x squared? Well, we divide by x. How do we get from x squared to x to the 1st? Well, we divide by x. So we continue this pattern of divide by x, and we think that x to the 0th power is 1. I would now like to explain in another way that we can know that 5 to the 0th power is 1. Well, 5 to the 4th power times 5 to the 0th power is equal to 5 to the 4 plus 0. If I explain this in a future set of videos, this property about exponents, I plan to link that set of videos in the description of this video. But anyway, what we're doing is that we're adding the exponents because we're multiplying 5 to the 4th and 5 to the 0th. So we're just adding the exponents. Now we can simplify 4 plus 0 to 4. This is based on the additive identity of 0. That anything plus 0 is that anything. Now we can simplify 5 to the 4th to be 625. We can divide both sides by 625. And simplifying that, we get 1. So 5 to the 0th power is 1. Now what about negative 6 to the 0th power? Well, negative 6 cubed times negative 6 to the 0th power is equal to negative 6 to the 3 plus 0. We're adding the exponents. Now we can simplify 3 plus 0 to be 3. Now we can simplify negative 6 cubed to be negative 216. We can divide negative 216 on both sides, so we get this, and then we can simplify negative 216 divided by negative 216 to be 1, so negative 6 to the 0th power is equal to 1. Now what about 100th to the 0th power? Well, 100th squared times 100th to the 0th power is equal to 100th to the 2 plus 0. We're adding the exponents. Now we can simplify 2 plus 0 to be 2. Now we can simplify 100th squared to be 0.0001. We can divide 0.0001 on both sides. And we can simplify that to be 1. So 100th to the 0th power is equal to 1. Now let's talk about this for any x. So in this set of videos, x means any real number except 0. So let's talk about this for any positive number or any negative number. So x to the 6 times x to the 0 is equal to x to the 6 plus 0. We're adding the exponents. Now I didn't have to use 6, but that's the number that I chose to use. Then we simplify 6 plus 0 to 6. We divide both sides by x to the 6. And we simplify that and we get 1. So x to the 0 is equal to 1. Thank you for watching this video. Here's a link to the playlist about some properties of 0 and which this video is a part of. Feel free to click on this link.